Wait, you want to sell your house for how much? Okay, I don't really react that way, but sometimes it is a little surprising. So we have sellers, potential home sellers call us sometimes, and they talk to us about a home sale price that we often find surprising. They tend to cite online websites or online home value calculators as to where they obtain that number. So watch this video and you'll learn a lot about the online websites and the home valuation calculators and why it may not be the best method for you to determine your home's value. So online websites and home value calculators, they use mostly or completely online data for their information. Some states it's a little bit different, but in Missouri, it's pretty much online data for everything unless someone has manually entered something into their website. So they're notorious for being incorrect. Sometimes they're high, sometimes they're low, sometimes they're spot on. But the point is that it's so inconsistent that you can't tell. You just can't really tell. And so using that data is just unreliable when looking for a home value. What's really important to remember is market value is actually chosen by the buyer. It's not by the seller, unfortunately, or the agent, unfortunately, or anyone else. It's up to the buyer as to what they want to pay. It's what a ready, willing, and able buyer will pay for a home is what it's worth. So just keep that in mind when we're having this discussion, because every discussion we have about value is subjective, and it really only matters with what a buyer is going to pay at the end. That's why we as agents need to understand the trends of the market, where it's going, where it's been, what we expect to happen, and how your home fits into the market as a whole to understand what a buyer might pay for your home. And so that's the second point to remember. So the best method to determine home value is a combination of in-person review along with market data sources, some of that online data. That combination is the critical factor. There's just no substitute for being in the home, seeing the features, seeing the conditions, seeing the layout, really understanding it up close. And that way we can combine that with the market data and all the online data and come to a valuation estimate that's as close to we can get as of what an appraiser is going to do. And really that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to understand, one, what a buyer might pay for the home, and two, what an appraiser is probably going to appraise the home at, because we don't want to be in a position where it doesn't appraise out, because that's an ugly scene. So but that review, and actually I'll tell you a story, I did one of these yesterday. So I was down in Imperial, Missouri, met with a lady. She had lived in the house for 22 years, didn't have the slightest clue what the house was worth, except that she had been looking on some online value calculators. And it was very helpful for me to be in the home because I was able to see condition-wise, there were quite a few updates that needed to be done to bring it up to what buyers are looking for today. At the same time, the physical condition of the house, the bones of the home, I guess you would say, were in very good shape. The brickwork was good. I didn't see any cracking in the foundation or any of that, which, as old as the home was and being a brick home, I was a little surprised to not see a little bit of cracking in the mortar. So that was very helpful for me to understand how the home was laid out. It wasn't just a 4-bedroom, 2-bath ranch home. I had way more detail to look at, so that now today I can come back, sit down in front of the computer, use that information in combination with the market data and come up with a really close estimate on what I think a buyer is going to pay for the home and what an appraiser is going to appraise it for. So to wrap all this up, so the online value calculators, they're here to stay. They're going to be here for the duration. Just understand that their purpose is to lead a conversation, to begin a conversation, give you a starting point, give you some kind of a place to get going. But really where the rubber meets the road is when an agent comes and meets with you and sees the house and then crunches the numbers, and an agent that understands the market, your market, where you're located, where the home is located, and what the trends are in the market. So that's really a critical piece. And frankly, what you really want to know, I'm sure, is what are you going to be able to net whenever you sell the home? Because that's my assumption, that's what you're trying to do, is sell the home. So in addition to that value piece of it, you also want an agent to talk to you about what repairs may or may not need to be done to that home, what updates might need to be done to bring it up to a full retail value. Or, as is the case with the lady that I met yesterday, I'm going to give her the options of what's the full retail value and what does she need to do to get it there, or what do we think we can get for it as it is, she just walks out the door and sells it to a wholesaler, or somewhere in between. And that type of thing you just can't figure out with an online value calculator. So So whenever you have some questions about that, I'm going to drop a link below, but you can pop over to our website at stlpropertyresource.com, and we do have an online calculator that samples from several data sources, so it is fairly accurate, but understand it's not ever going to be 100% accurate. So that'll give you a starting place, and then we're happy to come out for free and meet with you and look at the home and give you a much more fine-tuned number on what we're looking for. So I appreciate your time today, and as always, we're here to guide you home.